E aí, tudo bem com vocês? Hoje, we're gonna speak in English just to talk about my experience with having a baby here in Brazil, especially in the Nordeste, where I'm actually living. If you've been following my channel, I moved here about 5 years ago, and I'm now in Recife, and my wife and I had a baby here. So something happened with my cell phone, so I lost practically all the footage. I had this whole vlog day-to-day update for you guys, but something happened when I was trying to transfer it and I lost everything. So really sad about that. So I only have a couple pictures and things. Yeah, we had complications. My wife had complications with her umbilical cord, and we had to have the baby a little bit early. So 37 weeks in, which is not premature but premature, right on the border. And it was a little bit scary. I think the scariest part was because we don't have a community here. We don't have a lot of friends or a lot of family members that can support us and give us advice. We don't have that here. That it makes it a little bit difficult for us to, just a little bit difficult because we don't know what to expect and what how we should do things and things. For me personally, the whole process was very scary because they're talking to you in Portuguese, a little bit medical Portuguese, I guess. So it was a little bit more, it wasn't like day-to-day Portuguese, it was hospital lingo Portuguese. But we went to supposedly a very good hospital here in Recife for maternity. So Miriam had the baby. We had to do a C-section because of problems in her umbilical cord. She was not receiving the full nutrients, and so the doctor was telling us that it would be more safe to take her out and we can monitor her from the outside. So we decided that's probably the best idea. And here's a little clip.
She's all ready. You ready?
Soon.
Scared? Don't be scared. It's gonna be okay. They gave me a jumpsuit. She's ready? We're extremely nervous. But wish us luck. We hope to be good parents. Yeah, we hope to be a good parent. Mama Miriam, you look like a genie. Me too. Ashley, we'll see you on the outside.
So then we went into this room. It's like a normal. From what I've been told, that the C-section was a normal C-section, and that I didn't have to worry because Brazil is professional with C-sections. I don't know why, but I heard Brazil is the top C-section place to do C-sections. So bada bing, I guess, for that. So we had the baby. She was so small, as you can see. She was very little, and I was in the waiting area with her, and other babies were there, and they were twice as big. So I was really a little worried. The nurses, they're all saying it's fine, but in my personal opinion, I feel like they were just saying that to not have me worry. A little bit after that, we brought her in, and she had the yellow skin. She had to do the sunbathing thing, where she had to be under the blue light, basically, which was very scary as well. I didn't know what it was. People said it was very common, but for me, it was very new. We had to stay at the hospital for 10 days to monitor that whole situation. The baby was really, really small. When it was born, it was about 2 kilos, and then it dropped weight, and that's normal, right? So it was 1 kilo and 880 grams. And so the hospital said she needed to reach 2 kilos for her to be released without the hospital feeling like there would be any problems. So that's what we did. It took 10 days to hit that mark. there was good points and bad points about the whole being at the hospital. Good points was that there was like nurses coming every 3 hours to help feed her and just give us like help with everything that we needed, like towels, diapers, creams, and like stuff like medicines, and doing the checkups and stuff. So that was a good point. On the bad point was we felt like we were in jail, like we're just stuck in a room, and the food was not very good, which is very disappointing because for me, of course, food is very important. One funny thing is the menus would come, and the menu was very elaborate. The wording was very fancy to make it seem like it was a bit nicer meal. And then when the food came, it was not as fancy as it said it was going to be. So, like they said, like for example, there was one, it was like a medallion, filet mignon medallion with a Tabasco sauce, mashed potato, something, puree, the peas and macaxeira, it was a long, it looked like a paragraph. And then when the food came, it was like a dry piece of meat. Like it looked like the potatoes or the macaxeira was just pulsed in a food processor. It was very gummy. So at the end of the menu, they would ask, would you like dessert or fruit? And my wife wanted a dessert, like a cake or a pudding or something like that. But every time we put dosi, like something like a cake or something, a fruit would come. So one night I told her, oh, why don't you put fruit and just see what happens? And then when we put fruit, like the dessert would come. So I don't understand. Another thing that was very difficult was, even though this hospital was supposedly one of the best in the city, when we needed something, it took very long to receive it. The nurses and everybody, like they were very helpful. It's just there's so many like steps to receive something. So for example, if I needed milk for like formula for the baby, the place that we call has to call another place to get the milk prepared for us, which took forever. So when we call again, the nurses are like, yeah, we ordered the milk, it's coming, we're waiting for it. But that was one thing that was difficult because the baby's crying or like agitated, and we're trying to like learn how to be parents, and we're trying to feel her needs, but we really can't. But on a good note, we've had a lot of different nurses coming in to like give us like tips that they can show us, which was really helpful in terms of how we should be handling our baby. And it gave us a little bit more time to rest and just spend time with the baby. Finally, the baby reached 2 kilos, and they said we can take her home. I think my wife was very like nervous. We got home, and she just, because it's a new scenario, new area, new atmosphere, new temperature for the baby, so she was very antsy. And we didn't have nurses, so we had to do everything, changing the diaper, getting the milk prepared, getting her shower prepared, just all the things that we needed to do. It was a hit of reality really fast. So the experience was really different for me, I guess. I mean, I've never had a baby in America, but from what I was told or from stories that I've heard from other people, having a baby in another country for me was personally very, very nervous, scary, because I didn't want to like mess up. So like all the documents, like I like asked them like over and over, like, what does this mean? Like, can you explain this? Because I don't want to sign something or do something wrong for the baby. Like for my documents, I sign whatever. It's like, okay, my soul, sure, or anything. But for the baby, I want, you want to protect her. And yeah, it was really, really nerve-wracking, very stressful. And I think the hardest part for me personally is because all my friends and family are in the US, so I didn't have very much support here. We just had me and my wife supporting each other, trying to do the best that we can. That's one really thing that I'm really sad about, really discouraged, because I know that if we had our baby in the US, she would have like lots of uncles and aunts to love her, you know, care, and just here she doesn't have that opportunity as much. From you guys, yes, thank you. But like in a personal setting, all of them are in LA or in California. So that's one thing I really wish for my baby, to have more community and to have more like just, I don't know, because you want your baby to have the best. I'm scared if I can be a good father for her. These days have been very tiring. I don't know what day it is sometimes. I wake up, I have to feed the baby, I have to change the baby. Like me and my wife, we're trying to take turns, but sometimes it's wild. And so sometimes I can't wake up, or sometimes she can't wake up. And during the day, I think it's a little bit more easier, but it's the madrugada, the early mornings that are very tiring. And sometimes when she just won't stop crying, and we're trying to find out what she needs, or if she just needs to be held, or, you know, some people say just let her cry. Because she's our first baby, we're like, oh my God, we gotta do something. And so there's just so many things that we are trying to just learn by ourselves. We do have, you know, we talk to our friends and family on the phone and on the internet, and they've been a great help. So the experience was really, really overwhelming, but I think it's cool. I think that our baby being born in Brazil is a cool story to have in her history. Any advice that I would give to anybody who is a foreigner having a baby here in Brazil is make sure you have somebody who speaks Portuguese, because if you don't, you're gonna be lost. But depending on which hospital you go to, they're tremendous help. They try to help you in almost every way. One weird thing I've noticed is that Brazilian people have a infatuation. Asian babies are they really like them. I don't know why. I think because Brazilian babies have big eyes, they're very like, you know, they see Brazilian babies all the time, but when they see like a little Asian baby, it's super cute, I guess. I don't know. When I see the nurse go across to another room and they say, oh, they do all the baby talk, but when they come to ours, they're like, oh, like it's like extra. One weird thing that I noticed is when they were weighing the baby and doing stuff, like all the nurses took pictures of the baby. So I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, why are you taking a picture of my baby? I know at the supermarkets when you do your work, like you finish your work and you take a picture and you can show your boss like I did the work, and maybe it's like that. Like I don't know. Honestly, with everything that I just went through, or that we went through, when we look at how she's going so far, it's well worth it. And we feel like we're doing okay. Like we're actually parents. Another thing that is different is like my wife would have cravings, right? And like in America, there's so many options of food and things. So if, let's say, you wanted something, you can get it. But here where we live, there's not a lot of options of like as much as in America and easy access. So if I wanted like tacos or Armenian food or Indian food or Chinese food, it's a lot easier in the States compared to here in Brazil, and it's a lot faster. That's one thing. In Brazil, everything that you want, I've noticed, just takes a little bit more time. I don't know if that's like everywhere, but I just noticed that service is a little bit slower here in generally everything. Yeah, please root us on. Please support us. Encouraging words, and just you guys watching this, just wanted to share with you guys that she's doing okay. Even though I lost a lot of the footage that I wanted to share with you guys throughout the process, pretty much it was just a lot of me saying that I'm tired. When we saw the baby gaining weight, eating well, it's pretty cool. So I hope, Ashley, as you grow, you just know that you have two loving parents trying to do the best we can with what we have here in Pernambuco, Brazil.